We're live here at Lima Motorsports Park, where the biggest race of the season once again brings in some of the biggest names in NASCAR. We'll talk to Kasey Kahne in the pit stop update. That's coming up. Your News Now is next. The upgrades on and around Dean White Court haven't really taken away from that vintage feel. They've simply added color. After last season's winless campaign, the coaching staff stressed the significance of conditioning so that in 2010, there's nowhere to go but up. Elmira, the saga that soiled the image of Buckeyes football finally reached its breaking point for Tressel, who after a decade down in Columbus is stepping away from the sidelines. Two of the most common questions brought up throughout the press conference, health and family, the main reasons why Meyer stepped down at Florida. Before he was able to become the 24th Buckeye head coach, it was something he had to clear with his family. Andy, the people behind the scenes here at Dutch Hollow Road work year-round for this event. With weather like this and a guest like I have here, you can certainly understand why. Joined by NASCAR driver Kasey Kahne. Kasey, you were here back in 2007. What was it about Lima Land that brought you back? As for the offensive side of the ball, they'll continue to air it out, trying different things to spread the ball across the field. Kasey, thank you so much. Best of luck to you tonight. Andy, I'm going to let Kasey be because he's certainly got a lot of driving to do tonight. Certainly looking forward to every minute of it. Throwing it back to you at the station, reporting live from Dutch Hollow Road. Csaba Sukosd, Your News Now Sports. For the past 8 months, Sean Oden and Emily Broadman have been inseparable. That was when she suggested to him about competing in the CUPE Triathlon.
I knew he'd take the challenge on, and the second I asked him, he was excited and just working hard from that day forth.
Sean has never shied away from a challenge because he's been overcoming obstacles all his life. The 50-year-old was born with optic atrophy.
I don't see images that well. The messages don't go from my eyes to the brain very well.
So Emily acts as his eyes, guiding him throughout. The first leg is the swim.
How do you feel, Sean? How do you feel?
Good.
Okay, good. Let's keep it right here.
Damn good.
Keep it going.
500 yards later, they were welcomed back to shore.
Here we go. Okay, pick it up, guys. 1 down, 2 to go.
From lapping the lake, it was on to pumping the pedals.
The bike was great. We just stayed comfortable, stayed relaxed.
15 miles later, they were pounding the pavement for 3 more miles.
That last mile, we just thought, finish, 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 go, go, go.
After 2 tumultuous hours, they crossed the finish. Shortly after the realization of what he accomplished, the emotion started to sink in.
I'm sorry.
You did so good. Triathlete.
Oh, man.
Throughout all the sweat and tears, Sean had plenty of inspiration from those in his situation.
I met a gal that is a world champion in the triathlon, and she's totally blind. And that's what made me push it. You keep working at it, keep plugging along, and you'll get there. And if I had it to do over again, I wouldn't change a thing because it was a lot of fun.
He's not the only one leaving with a smile. In Bath Township, Csaba Sukosd, Your News Now Sports. The American dream. For many, it's playing baseball as a kid all the way to college. For Allen East grad Kurt Yetman, he fulfilled that desire, but it wasn't his ultimate aspiration. Here's the story of a hero who sacrificed a lot more. Former Allen East football and baseball standout Kurt Yetman had just finished his freshman year as a catcher at Bluffton University. During that summer, he came to his father, his coach throughout high school, to tell him some life-changing news.
This isn't what I want to do. I wanted to join the Army. And I said, Kurt, think long and hard about that. He says, oh, I already have. He said, I've already gone down and take the tests. And I about passed out.
Those fears and concerns came full circle with a phone call on Friday.
And Kurt was the gunner in the MRAP, and they hit an IED, and it blew the vehicle up and engulfed it in flames, and at the same time they had it coordinated for an ambush, an L-shaped ambush. So his whole platoon was under fire, and Kurt was trapped inside. And they got him out of the vehicle, and he was on fire while they were being fired on.
Private First Class Yetman suffered 2 broken legs and extensive 2nd and 3rd degree burns. And unfortunately for him, this is just the beginning.
It's going to be a long recovery. It could be a year, it could be 2 years. The one doctor told me it could be a lifetime.
With baseball season slowly approaching, the Mustangs head coach has no problem sacrificing the sport
just like his son did.
Kurt's my number one. He's my number one responsibility. He's my number one commitment. And, you know, baseball's pretty irrelevant when you look at the big picture.
A candlelight vigil for Yetman will be held at 8 p.m. Tuesday at Southside Christian Church in Lima.
Kurt is still in critical condition at a hospital in Germany. His father says the doctors tending to Kurt expect him to return to the U.S. within the next 2 days. He will then be transferred to Brooke Army Medical Center in San Antonio, when his family will be by his side. Half the field is set for the regional finals in the high school football playoffs. Tonight, 8 more local squads had a shot at making it to the Elite Eight, something defending Division VI state champs St. John's have done the previous 3 seasons. Todd Schulte and the Blue Jays up at BGSU's Deutsch Perry Stadium, tackling Tiffin Calvert in their Region 22 semi. Second quarter, no score. Alex Clark airs it out for Tanner Cavalich, who hauls it in deep in Calvert territory. That would lead to Jordan Bergfeld's opening score of the game, 7-0 St. John's. Just over 2 minutes left in the half. Blue Jays on the move again. Super sophomore Tyler Jettinghoff breaking free for the score. DSJ up 14-0 at the half. Second play of the third quarter, Mark Boggs, quick strike to Ryan Denzel, and he does the rest. Racing 40 yards for the touchdown. St. John starts to blow it open, up 21-zip. Still in the third, they give to Jettinghoff, who bowls his way in for his second TD of the game as St. John's cruises 35-0 and are stoked to be back in the regional final for the 4th straight year. In Division 4, top-ranked Kenton has cruised throughout the season. The Wildcats are 11-0 for just the second time in school history. The last time was 10 years ago when they won their first state title. Ben Mock was the quarterback back then for that team. Another Mock leading the way now. Maddie getting some Heisman love, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Wildcats taking on a tough Genoa squad, and the Comets come out punching Kenton in the mouth. Kyle Nutter gives Genoa an early 6-0 lead. Second quarter, Kenton trailing 9-0. Mock, the Missouri-bound quarterback, doing it with his legs. Such a great athlete. 42-yard sprint to the zone. Wildcats down 9-8 at the half, but Genoa came to play. Third quarter, Tyler Pickard rips free for a 22-yard touchdown. Comets extend the lead to 7 at 15-8. Wildcats would respond on fourth down. Mock over the middle, and the ball is tipped right into the arms of Kent State-bound Bryce Fackler inside the Genoa 15. Then it's Mock doing more damage on the ground. 209 yards rushing to go with 3 touchdowns. Kenton takes the lead and keeps it. The Wildcats win 32-22. They'll play Bishop Hartley for the regional final in a matchup of number 1 versus number 2 in the state. En route to winning last weekend's tip-off tourney at the Fieldhouse, Denny Thompson's squad won by an average of almost 35 points per game. Elida with their 3rd straight home game out of the gates, taking on Kevin Sensabaugh and his Spencerville Bearcats having to deal with that tough crowd over in Elida. Opening quarter, Spencerville working the ball. Dan Binkley to Eli Bowers in the corner. Bearcats take a 1-point lead. Slow start for both teams. Corey Royster helping the Elida scoring effort. The putback for 2 of his 20. Bulldogs retake the lead. On the other end, it's Derek Goki, the QB. Zips one to Dominic Corso. Spencerville hanging around. More from the Bearcats. This time, it's Goki, the beneficiary from Binkley. Spencerville back on top by 1. Next trip up the floor, Mike McDonald getting loose for Elida. Back and forth affair. Bulldogs led by 3 after 1. In the second, a quiet night overall for Reggie McAdams. The All-State baller with the first of 3 trifectas in the quarter. Elida pulls away 69-54.
When I was growing up, my father, always stressed to me the little things. Don't make excuses for things. Excuses are words of failure. The game is the fun part. Training is the taxing part. So you got to push yourself to the extreme level where your body say, I cannot go there. But it really can. The toughest part is kind of telling yourself, no, finish it right now, even though your legs is tired. There's no way that the game is going to be as hard as I train. If the game is going to be harder, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
There you go, just like that, just like that.
My grandma always tell me, use things as stepping stones. You can use them as a stepping stone to fall down, or you can use them as a stepping block. You want to go hard, so it's game-like. So when you get in the game, you making that move, and it's like second nature. If you going hard, you gonna make a mistake. You cannot be perfect. Come on, stay focused, stay focused. If I miss 10 shots, stay focused. Plan on making the next one. when you become a pro, it's not about, you know, your athletic ability. It's more about mental. It's a mental game then, because there's so many people that can play the game. So now you got to start outthinking this opponent. I'm trying to focus on the small things so I can take myself to that next level. My body is looking completely better. I feel great, you know, and my confidence is, you know, is out the roof.